Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Strictly Cha Cha Chat. We've been following the couples as the celebrities learn the ins and outs of ballroom dancing, and we'll be taking a look at their progress so far. We're once again joined by dancing expert and judge Andrew Pickup, who'll be looking at the progress of 4 of the couples.
Now, there has been a little bit of drama in Strictly Land since we last met. Rachel Harrington, the Music Society president, is now dancing with Alex Hocknell, who is a new member of the Ballroom Society exec. Now, this sort of leads on to a bit of an issue of how busy are the exec members at this time of year, because it's a busy term for ballroom dancing. You've got the showcase, regardless of the Strictly, you've got the other dancers that you need to learn. You've got a couple of competitions this term, and how much time does it take up and how much is it an issue?
I mean, this term is hugely busy for the Ballroom Society. A lot of last term is preparation for this term. This is when everything happens. You've got the Northern Universities Championships, you've got the National Championships. There is a handful of other comps that they can do if they want, and they need to prepare for Roses. So on top of that workload, having the charity showcase, which does take up a huge amount of time, because most of the exec members will be in multiple dances on the evening. So it is a huge time commitment with their degree as well.
So, how long do you think you should spend rehearsing for Strictly if you're a serious contender?
I think it's almost impossible to say. People learn at different speeds.
Is it entirely dependent on the celebrity?
Yeah, I think so. And also, to an extent, the teacher. I mean, I was never particularly organised. I used to arrive at a practice and then try and choreograph a routine. Some of them choreograph it in their own time and then go and
yeah, I know last year I started a bit later than some of the couples, but we already had a routine choreographed for me to learn.
Exactly, and I equally know people who would meet a week or two before and throw it together at the last minute. Some people like that pressure and the urgency. But you've done that before.
I
do that most years, yeah,
yes.
that's what I did nearly every time, but some people just don't work like that, and it depends on your celebrity as well.
Okay.
The first couple we'll be looking at today are Hannah and Matt, so let's see how they've been getting on.
He's very enthusiastic, which I didn't expect for a sports person. I thought he'd just be like, yeah, whatever, I'd do whatever, but he's actually really enjoying it and he seems to be getting more enthusiastic by the time, so yeah, he really enjoyed it. I swear I'll behave. You wanted control, so we waited, I put on a show.
I enjoy it when I actually get something right and get annoyed with myself if I do something wrong because I'm competitive by nature, so, but yeah, I'm enjoying it on the whole. She's really good, she's really patient with me and doesn't like shout or get negative when I like forget something or do something wrong, so yeah, she's good. About forgetting it.
Yeah, I have a tendency usually when I perform to forget things and I sort of just roll with it, but now I'm really worried because
well, yeah, because if I forget, I won't have any clue
and then I won't have any clue, and then I'll just probably tell you to lift me up for the rest of it and then you'll just walk off with me. I think that's our pro.
That's right, yeah. That's our go-to response. If we forget, we'll just, right, I'll just pick you up and walk off.
Yeah, pretty much.
That might work. No, I'm worried about forgetting it because obviously I don't know enough about dancing to be able to recover, whereas you might with someone else who knows something about dancing.
I probably just end up saying something to you and just be like, what? No, I'm worried about how good the others are going to be, actually. I think a lot of them have got a good trick up their sleeves, which I'm, yeah. It could
right,
be
okay, well,
we need to pull something out of the hat.
Right, okay. Pressure.
Now let's have a closer look at them in rehearsal.
So, Andrew, how do you think the rumba is for a male celebrity?
It can be quite a daunting dance to do because it's all about conveying that story and conveying that passion. And I think that that's perhaps one thing at the moment that we're just missing from this. He seems to be looking everywhere but at her, which will lose the connection on the evening.
And surely it must be a difficult one to lead if you're a celebrity, if you're just learning.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're doing hand positions here.
They must have heard that Emily is
Emily
obsessed with hands.
Going out for technical arms. It's a difficult dance for most celebrities, just to convey that confidence to the audience, and particularly for a beginner.
Is it one of those dances where the man can sort of almost stand there and let the lady look good, or is it a bit more demanding? Because there are some of the dances which you can do that.
Yeah, I think if you're going to, I think you could probably say that the rumba is one of the easier ones to do that. But I don't think that we're going to be fooled as a judging panel. Like we will be looking for proper rumba steps. I know that Caroline, particularly the third judge here, is going to be after a real storytelling, so they're going to have to work on that as well.
She seems to be working on his legs and his footwork at the minute. What do you think of it so far, Andrew?
Well, crucial to the rumba is the leg action, so the straightening of the legs on every step in order to get the hip action, which is so commonly talked about in a rumba, and it is very, very difficult. I know he's an American football player, so I imagine having straight legs wouldn't come naturally being in that sport.
It's an interesting thing when that sports people that haven't really done particularly well in our Strictly event over the years. There haven't been very many sports people who've done particularly well, which is surprising given the competitive nature and that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it's just dependent on the celebrities as well. Although I thought Gaz did very well last year.
Yes.
The rugby captain. So I've got high hopes for them this year.
Are they one of the threats?
I think they could be. I think that.
Well, Hannah's very experienced, isn't she?
Hannah's very experienced.
They're
both very motivated, and so I think if they can sort out some of the technical rumba aspects, if they can tell that story, and if they can throw a few lifts in, I think it could be really impressive on the night.
Now we've seen our first couple, let's take a look at our second couple, and the second couple tonight is Theo and Mia.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the rehearsals. We've had about 3 so far, and they're quite fun. And Theo is teaching me very well. Today I've had a lesson on posture, so he's teaching me to look more elegant and have a better alignment and things like that.
Full of books and most of my teeth. Few pairs of socks and a door with a lock. I've got food in my belly and a license for my telly, and nothing's going to bring me down.
The rehearsal's going really well. She's learnt a lot very quickly. You can see that her background in dancing and ballet has really been beneficiary. Like, we're just streaming through everything. But now we're sort of concentrating on the hard stuff, you know. But yeah, she's really good. Really enjoying it. Really, really nice. Not frustrated or anything. So it's been very pleasant.
Nothing's gonna bring me down, boys, the best of all. I've got my baby. Oh, best of all, I've got my baby.
Nothing too much to be worried about. Just need to make sure she gets high enough heels so that we have similar height. No, I'm joking. What do you think?
Not that small.
No, I'm joking. Oh, there's one part.
We've not done any lifts yet. I don't want to do
well,
any lifts.
Technically there's no lift.
Okay,
so that's right. But there's one turn which we haven't perfected yet, but we'll see how that goes on. The American spin, yeah. And there's one there's a lot of kicks that are coming up soon, so it should be really fun. And I think you're going to enjoy that one.
Oh, okay.
That's about it.
Okay, so we've seen them in rehearsal, and they do seem to be enjoying it, and seem to be getting along as a couple very well. They've had a couple of different rehearsals, so if we take a closer look now at, I think this was the first one they had last week, and unlike the previous couple, they seem to be doing a lot of footwork in it rather than arms and things. Do you know what that dance they're doing, Andrew?
They're doing a jive.
Yep.
And I'm very impressed. There is a lot of basic jive steps in there, which is certainly going to impress me on the evening.
Yeah, traditional
if they're done
footwork.
well. Yeah, I mean, you've got to play up to the audience. I know we've talked about this a lot, but you've got to play up to the audience. But I think you've got to keep some of the dance in there as well, and be true to it. And this is, behind the back, stop and goes, all sorts of proper steps. And she's doing them very well as well.
It's more of a fast-paced dance, isn't it, than the rumba, for example? So is it easier to entertain a crowd with that, would you say, and put character in it, or...?
I think that the music tends to catch people more with it being more lively. Yes. And I think it can be very impressive. And the downside of it is that I've seen celebrities before put one foot in the wrong place, and then because it's faster, it's much harder
over in a heap.
Yeah.
Well, much harder to get back on track.
Yes. Now this is I think their second rehearsal that they've had last week, and they do seem to be working very hard on just a few core steps to putting it in. I don't think they've sorted their music yet.
Right.
So do you think they're just going through the technique phase, and they're going to put those building blocks together, see what works, and then choreograph it?
I mean, perhaps my experience is that with the amount of time that they'll be able to put into this, they do need to start looking towards putting together a routine relatively soon, unless they're going to throw a lot of time at it in the...
Well, as I said last year, I did it completely the other way around. We had the routine sorted before Christmas, and it was only really then that I started working on technique. But they seem to be rehearsing hard and enjoying it, and getting into the spirit of it as well. It's a nice, fast, bouncy dance, and they seem to be really enjoying it. So
and I think we've seen really good technique there, so I'm quite excited for them on the night. Theo is always a performer, and so I guess her challenge is to try and match his personality on the floor.
Exuberance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as presenters, we thought we'd better give it a try and see just how challenging ballroom dancing really is. So at the beginning of this week, we met up with Connie and Hannah to show us how difficult it is. Let's take a look.
Now we're going to find out just how hard it is for the celebrities doing Strictly this year. We've got two of the exec with us. We have Hannah and Connie, who are going to teach us a 45-second routine, which is about half the length of the Strictly routines. But instead of having about 4 or 5 weeks, we've got an hour and a half. And I'm going to be doing a jive with Hannah.
And I'll be doing a quick step with Connie.
Step, and slide,
back step.
Together.
No, don't go.
Oh no, don't go together. Slide, back step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back, side, close, side, towards me, side, close, side.
Ooh, okay, well done.
Back, step, 1 and 2, 2 and 2.
Yep. Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Back on your right, left, side, close, side, forward, side, close, side, back. Cross your feet over.
Ooh, it's just that last step, isn't it?
Like 1, 2, side, side. Step behind yourself. Across. Cross your feet over. Ooh.
Yep, and then
back.
Okay, across the wrong
Side to side, back step, back to side, side to side. So you really should be up and looking over that way.
Okay, yes. Yes.
So, side to side, back step, back to side, side to side.
Okay.
So it's very repetitive. To the side.
And it's this foot that goes forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is just a brush, you don't have to put any weight on it. So when you step over that one just comes in and out.
And again.
It goes behind,
side,
place,
place.
and again behind, side, to place.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Basic. Lock step. Tipple. Tipple. Lock step.
Yeah.
Spin.
Spin. Forward. Let's see. Oh, hang on.
Slow. Quick. Slow. Quick. slow, quick, slow, quick. Yay! Yes. Okay. In that case, we can do it. 1 and 2, and again 2 and 2. How do you feel, how the body?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do the steps right, did I?
So let's take a look at the final performances so that Andrew can practice his judging for the final show. So Chris did a jive with Hannah to Candyman.
The thing I found about this was it was very fast.
Looking like an exercise video at the minute.
What are you saying about my figure, Andrew Pickle?
Did you find the rhythm quite hard to follow?
I couldn't get it. Absolutely couldn't get it in time with the music. I think Tom might have overlaid this music in time with my dancing rather than what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you've clearly got the life and the energy of a jive. One of the crucial feet things is using the knees to get that bounce section, which, to be fair, you haven't got before. Given the time you had to learn this, I don't think it's a bad attempt at all.
Yeah, we did the whole thing in under an hour and a half, so I was quite pleased with it in the end, but I did find the basic jive step actually quite difficult.
Yeah.
And especially putting it to the music.
Yeah.
There you go. Obviously very happy that we'd managed to do it without falling over and staying.
Pleased to get to the end.
We did, yes, very pleased. We did that in one take as well, which I'm just going to put out there because Jess, how many takes did you do?
I had to take 2 takes.
And now we are going to watch Jess, and she did a quick step to That Man.
Well, this is we started off with lots of basic quick steps, which is very impressive. If I saw this on the night, I'd be very happy.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you would on the night, I think, would expect a beginning and an end to it. But as for the execution of the steps, it's very good.
There you go. So, in terms of your comments as a judge, can you sum up those performances for us?
Well, I would say that yours was a very good attempt. You had the life, the energy, much more of a performance than yours.
That's true.
However, you had more basic quick steps, which were very impressive. Going forward, I think you would need to work on a better headline, but I thought it was a very good attempt
well,
from
you'll
both
get the
of you in the
opportunity
time.
of that next week, Andrew, because of course you're teaching us a routine for the
Fantastic.
challenge next week, so you can work on that.
I'm going to be straight in with that headline.
It is difficult when you're trying to see where your feet are going
Yeah.
at the beginning. So
People, when they first start dancing, often have this strange detachment from their feet and their brain. They think that they need to keep looking at their feet, otherwise they won't do anything.
well, Connie was saying that typically the female part looks away from where they're actually dancing.
Yeah.
And I tried that, and that was really difficult because you
Start crashing into
can't
things.
feel where your feet are going.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's just practice and getting used to it. But I mean, I don't really think about it from that point of view. But beginners that we've had coming in have always just stare at the feet as they're going around in order to navigate.
And now, if you can enter your judge mode just for a minute, I'm not going to ask you for scores.
No.
Which we'll hopefully be doing on the night, but a winner for those 2 routines, please.
Ooh.
Tight one there?
Yeah, that is very tight. I mean, I might just give it to Chris.
Yes.
Just because of the personality of it, and that's more what I'd be looking for on the night. But you definitely had more basic steps in there, which was a harder task. On technique, I would give it to you.
I'm quite surprised there, Andy, because you've always said you are a traditional ballroom favourite, and I'm very happy that you said that I'm better there. But I am surprised that because my technique wasn't great.
Yeah, but at the same time, you captured the dance. There were jive steps in there.
Does it show how important a beginning and an ending to a routine is, that?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's the difference between if you entered a ballroom and Latin comp, you wouldn't do it. You would just be looking at the pure technique. But in the context of Strictly, it's all about the performance, and it's about making dancing accessible to such a wide audience.
And would you say either style is easier or are they both just as hard to pick up from the beginning?
As opposed to Ballroom and Latin?
Yeah.
I think Latin is perhaps slightly easier to do because of the being in hold sometimes can be quite difficult when people first start. But I think that I think the Latin particularly is easier to.
Do you think either of those dances were particularly hard ones to do, or did we pick well and get nice easy ones?
I think those are probably two of the most straightforward ones. Not the easiest, but you didn't pick the hardest dances.
No, I did mention Hannah did actually ask me, and I said, "Oh, Paso would be exciting," and she just sort of took one look and said no.
No.
So
you need hours of time.
Yes, the hour and a half wasn't going to be quite enough. But thank you very much for your comments on those.
No,
we
it's a
look
pleasure.
forward very much to you teaching us a dance next week to see just how much of a difference the professional in the couple actually makes. Because, of course, with those routines, whether you're in hold or not, you can have the professional.
There's a lot of comfort
leading.
in that partner, yeah.
Yes, whereas we're going to be thrown in at the deep end next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Are you?
I am very excited.
I will try not to step on your toes too many times.
Please don't.
And now let's take a look at our third couple for today. We have Joe and Emily, and let's see how they've been getting on.
I don't think I'm quite prepared enough. I'm not really prepared enough because Emily's certainly keeping up with what I'm choreographing and preparing, which is really, really good, but it means I need to work a bit harder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really like the music that we've picked, and Joe's a really good partner, a really good teacher. Got to put my feet in the right place, and he's going to end up with some squashed toes.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Part of learning ballroom is learning how not to step on your partner's toes.
Okay, that might take a little bit longer than learning the steps.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Are you both enjoying the rehearsals?
Yeah.
Yeah, only a couple so far, but yeah. They've been really good.
We've probably not had quite as many as we'd have hoped up to now, but we've made a lot of progress in the ones that we've done, so
just slot some more in and keep practicing.
Yeah.
So that was Emily and Joe in rehearsals, and let's take a bit of a closer look at what they're doing. Now, Joe is an experienced dancer.
Yeah.
And he's technically very good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, unlike Theo, say, he's not the best performer in the world, is he? I mean, he admits that himself.
No, I mean, Joe will be going for substance over style, if that doesn't sound too harsh. He will put a lot of proper foxtrot steps in, and he will do them very well, and I'm sure Emily will as well, but he really needs to work on it.
That first bit was actually from before Christmas.
Right.
So they really got a move on pretty quick. This is last week's rehearsal.
I mean, she does seem to be picking up the steps quite quickly.
Yeah, and the foxtrot is a notoriously difficult dance to learn, so I think she's doing really well here.
She seems to have a very nice rise and fall
Yeah.
with her feet there when she's going through the footwork.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. For the night, I would say that she needs to look into that head position again, just getting that head position perfect for the ballroom hold, because that will make it look really quite impressive on the evening.
As judges,
Yeah.
have you sort of assigned body parts that you're going to be looking at? Like one on heads, one on arms, one on feet?
I wouldn't put it quite like that, but I think that Caroline is going to be after the performance. She's going to be after the spirit of the dance, something that entertains. She's going to speak from the audience's point of view. Emily, being a dancer herself, is going to be after probably more into the technique. She's talked a lot about wanting arm extensions.
Oh, she's obsessed with arms, isn't she? Posture is really her thing.
Yeah, so posture, arms, and those real technique-y things. I'm going to be after something that I'd like to think I'm going to look at it as a rounded thing, but looking about being true to the dance, having some core steps in there, but also needs to really perform for the audience.
Good.
So is this one that's going to be difficult to impress Caroline? Because it seems quite difficult to put a lot of personality into it.
It can be difficult. I think a lot is going to depend on their music choice. And whether there's a story attached to it. We've only seen a snippet of their rehearsals there. It can be done, and I think it could be really great. We just have to see how we make that accessible.
Well, last year, one of the couples that did a waltz had very, very good technique, didn't it? I forget who it was now.
Yes, it was Matt Walker.
Yes, but it wasn't the most interesting of dances, I'm going to say.
No, he was... apologies to all the others who competed last year, including my own partner. But he was technically absolutely in a league above the rest. I mean, I've never seen footwork like that on someone who's just new to dancing. It was very impressive. But it didn't connect with the audience in the way that some of the other dances did. And so, unfortunately, he didn't.
He was another one who seemed to have a bit of a break between his footwork, which was very, very good, and his upper body was, again, a little bit wooden. Which
I think he was very nervous, and I think because he didn't really have much of a beginning and an end, and because of the nerves, it kind of just closed it all in a bit. But I think he was, but very impressive footwork. Yeah.
So that they seem to be obviously enjoying it. Emily and Joe, and they seem to be getting there. Are they, do you think, a very much of a threat, or are they going to be a bit different to the couples and maybe a dark horse in this competition?
I mean, so much of this competition, as you well know, is subjective to the audience there on the night. And you know, the dancing plays only one part in that, really. I think Joe and Emily could be a threat, and I use the word could because I think if he stays true to the dancing as he is doing, then I think it would be a very good, solid middle of the leaderboard position. If he manages to perform that and take it to the next level, then I think he could be right up at the top there.
And that'd be good for Joe because he is a very good dancer. And I think Emily's also hard. She has had a bit of dance experience before.
Yeah, in a different style.
Yes. Yeah. Although that didn't help Jess too much.
It does seem to be helping her though.
It does seem to be helping her. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, one to watch out for, but potentially all based on the performance there.
Yes.
Technique, a dependable technique. All to watch for on the performance there. Now, talking of performers.
Yeah.
We said that in our last episode that we would be announcing some of the acts who are performing in this year's charity showcase, and I can announce the first of those very excitingly. It is Mr. Pickup himself with his partner from home, who are not only doing one but two demonstration dances for us.
Yeah, so I've been told.
Do you know what you're going to dance?
I'm not sure yet. I've got a few ideas, but I'm gonna play my cards close to my chest at this stage.
I think we're fairly safe in saying that it's going to be ballroom.
Absolutely.
Because you don't really, apart from in Strictly last year, you did Latin, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to play to your strengths, and so I will be doing two ballroom dances. It's quite daunting actually being a judge. You very much got to put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to be very aware of what I'm saying, I think, in the context that I'm then going to have to go and prove it later.
Well, you will have done one of them before the competition.
Yes. I'm definitely not going to pick up on anything that I'm not going to be doing myself.
Yes. Well, you actually did a demonstration last year.
Yes.
You did with Sally. You did a waltz, didn't you? And that was, unlike some of what we have said about waltzes potentially being boring, that was very much a storytelling dance, a beautiful dance you did. And is it a lot of fun to work the story into the dance?
Well, you see, that was a really interesting one. In that was an idea that had come to me the year before, and we'd just never done anything with it, time constraints and everything else. And so I said to Sally, I'd really like to do this, and I think it'd be a great story. If I'm totally honest, that was then parked until after Christmas when we put it together, and it really was in the last couple of days that we finished off the routine. Me and Sally didn't have a reputation for doing things too early,
being organised.
But yeah, it was great fun to be able to dance with Sally and to tell a story with ballroom dancing, which so often gets overlooked.
Do you think you'll be doing contrasting demonstrations this year? Maybe one really showcasing your technique and one really showcasing the storytelling, or have you not actually decided that?
No. I'm going to. I would like to hope that both of them are going to do both. I hope that they're going to show technique, but also try and make it something that engages the audience. Whether that's through the music, through something a little bit more showy in it, I'm not quite sure yet. But I will be looking to try and engage the audience in some way.
Well, we very much look forward to those.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you'll have actually decided on what they are by the next episode. So maybe you can give us a bit more insight there.
Maybe.
Now, the fourth and final couple we'll be looking at in this episode are Alice and Andy. So let's see how they've been getting on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special treat for you tonight. I'm gonna call my friend Ali up here to sing to you ladies. Ali! Let's go, man.
It's been a lot of fun already, even in our first rehearsal, and I am picking the moves up a little bit quicker than expected, which was fun. It's going to be a really fun process, and I'm very excited for what will come.
He comes up with a lot of his own ideas and he learns really quickly, so I'm pleased with how it went today, but I'm quite scared for choreographing the rest of the dance really, and the fact that we've not yet decided on a song or a theme. We just need to coordinate our schedules now and make sure we get enough rehearsal time in before then. Sitting in before we came to this rehearsal today, I was sat in the library listening to the song and genuinely thought that I'd forgotten how to dance.
And I never could dance, so...
That was just from thinking of choreography, so on the actual night I don't know what I'm going to do.
We both, well, I'm pretty used to the stage, but dancing is definitely not something I've done before. So I think it will be something new, but once the grease paint is on and we're in our costumes, all will be well.
We won't dress up as grease though. Well, we might be.
We might.
We've not
or
decided.
dirty dancing.
Yeah.
We won't reveal our battle plan.
We do have a battle plan.
I think we're definitely both hard workers, and we'll put the hours in.
I think if we get the choreography down fairly quickly, and then we just practice and practice and practice it, and by the time we get to do it, we're so bored of it that we're not bored of it, but used to it, that we'll just be able to do it. I think the worst thing that could happen is like having our first full run through on the day.
Yes.
So as long as we have that at least a week before, I think we'll be all right.
And we definitely have a few tricks up our sleeves.
Right, let's take a closer look at their practice.
This is their first practice. I turned up after about 20 minutes to film them, and they seem to be getting into it there.
Seems to be like a very springy dance, a lot of character.
Yeah, definitely. I'm presuming that they're doing a quick step or a Charleston. It's not easy to say at this time with these steps.
I think they mentioned a Charleston, but I can't entirely remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do seem to be getting into it, and he doesn't seem to have stepped on the toes yet, which is good. And he's doing that thing you mentioned of looking at his feet quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Andy needs to learn before the day is that sometimes taking smaller steps pays dividends.
I was just about to say, when I did that jive, I was constantly being told, small steps, small steps. Is that a thing for every dance? Because he's taking very, very large ones.
Yeah. You'll get much more action and it'll look much more impressive because you'll be able to move much quicker if you're not moving as far. He's taking huge steps here, and Alice is going to find it very difficult when they make it into proper ballroom hold.
Yeah, I've noticed that especially when you're in hold, it's difficult when your partner's taking smaller steps.
Yeah. yeah, I mean, he needs to take much smaller steps, but then the action will come there. And again, with these jumps, they'll be able to happen a lot faster if he keeps it much more compact.
They were rehearsing to Pencil Full of Lead.
Okay.
I don't know what their music choice is for the day. I don't know if they know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Good music choice to rehearse to that? I
think so, yeah. I think, I think it's a good choice.
But,
slightly the wrong way there.
Yeah. Gone a little bit backwards there. These steps, do you think they're particularly complicated to pick up?
Those little jump moves, quite common in Charleston and Quickstep, are incredibly difficult. I've had many an hour getting my feet in a jumble over those, but more than anything, I think with Andy and Alice, we're going to have a real performance. I've got high hopes for them.
Well, he is obviously the theatre group president.
He's the theatre group president.
As he said, the stage is a natural place for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's going to be a real performance, something to get the crowd going. And he's got that kind of personality that's going to draw people in.
Is it the danger of being the opposite of Emily and Joe?
Yes, but they are clearly working on some core steps as well. So I hope they're going to get a good balance. It's looking promising at this stage.
Good. Well, let's hope they do. It's certainly going to be, in terms of entertainment, that's going to be one of the ones to watch, I think.
I think so, yeah. And I would like to see them go all out there, take risks, do some lifts, see what they can do.
Something exotic and exciting.
Well, they only do it once. You've got to
throw yourself in there.
Throw yourself in it, take risks, and don't play it too safe.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew.
Pleasure.
That is the last of the couples for this week. Please join us again next week, where we'll be following the remaining 4 couples. There will be another Strictly Presenters Challenge, with Andrew teaching the 2 of us as a couple a routine, and we'll be seeing which of us picks that one up best and who steps on the other's toes more. And we will also be revealing the exciting collaboration which is going to kick off this year's charity showcase. But that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and join us again next week. Goodbye.